Back to the studio. Now, many Mr. David Apasera, ND and Komo, and pay as to on Kasane fate and the fate of his own political party. Seeing, sir, began to win an election and the country. Mr. Apasera, good morning.
Good morning.
I hope you're doing well today, sir.
I'm doing well.
Is your tree any good?
No, my tree is not good.
Okay, so, that's fine. That's fine. So, in introducing you, I was finding it a bit of a difficulty. I introduced you as a former flag bearer of the party.
Yeah, that's true.
But as to your membership of the party is in question because your party says that your membership has been terminated. Yeah. So how do I describe you to my viewers and my listeners?
Well, thank you. And I'm happy that I have this opportunity to explain to the Ghanaian people. What happens is that what was done on the 12th, the so-called NEC meeting, was not a NEC meeting. It is a group of people who have been together, and I call it Mahama's faction. And these factions,
Mahama's faction?
Yes, there was this Mahama's faction in the party and Bernard Mona's faction in the party. And they could not meet. They could not meet at all. So they couldn't call a NEC meeting. And that's how come finally we went to the National Congress on the 30th of September. So we had just barely 2 months to make sure that we restructure our party, we work hard, and then we are not the least. So I had just 1 month to campaign because the party had been fractured. And so when we came in, I tried to make sure that I didn't take sides with anybody so that we can mend the fence and bring everybody on board. And that's what I did. But the thing is that when I came in, I didn't know that the General Secretary had come in with a mind different. And I can tell you, day one, she had planned to take David out and become the next flag bearer.
Jeanette wants to be a flag bearer?
Yes, she told me. She told my chairman. And so...
When did she tell you this? When did Jeanette tell you that she wants to be the flag bearer of the PNC?
That's about 3 months ago.
About 3 months ago?
Yes.
But there's been a huge rift between you and Jeanette from even last year until now.
Yes.
So why would she make such a confession to you? Seeing that she had accused you, she had taken you to the CID for embezzling some 1.4 million.
Her game is, I mean, she had thought that she had done a lot of damage to my image. And then she became bold enough to tell me. She first of all told my party chairman. My party chairman told me. Then we met somewhere.
Where?
We met somewhere with a friend.
Where? Where did you meet?
Yes. Well, that is somebody's enclave, and I don't want to mention it. But we met there.
Who were present at this
myself,
meeting?
My chairman, and she was there. Plus a fourth person. And I said...
Who was the fourth person?
That's why I'm saying it's a friend.
It's a friend.
Who wanted to bring us together.
Okay.
So when we talked, I said, Janet says she wants to be the flag bearer. And she told my chairman. And that is what has, been at her mind. That she must work out David Apasera at all cost. She said, yes, I am going to contest you and I will win you. That day, she said it there. Even that person who called us together said, but the election is not close. So why do you begin to quarrel now? You see, because when I won, we came in, were sworn in, 1st October we took over, 2020. We wanted to file. She had gone around putting her own executives in some regions. And one of the regions was Western North. The Western North people were instructed not to give us their signatures to fill. And it took us about almost 2 weeks to get signatures from there. We had to send somebody. But they would tell us, oh, we've sent it per a new plan. So go there. They will go there, nothing. Not knowing that this was the issue. And when we finished that, we succeeded in filing. We were to do our manifesto. It was hell for us even at the hotel that we went and we were camping to do this manifesto. Then when we finished it, we were to do the launching. She told all those chairmen who had been with Dr. Mahama, because that was also her faction, they didn't come for the launching of the manifesto. I didn't know until one of them, who defied her orders and came, and she threatened to remove him, came and told me.
Is Janet that powerful in the party? A general secretary? So let me get the picture. There is a flag bearer.
Yes.
There is a chairman.
Yes.
And yet, the general secretary of the party seems much more powerful than these two individuals?
The general secretary, like I have indicated, the general secretary was a women's organizer and works in Mahama's clinic, and they were together, were managing their faction. And so it is a matter of still maintaining that link, and Mahama still has that link with them. And so Mahama calls them. And that is what happens. And that's how she's so emboldened. Now, when we went to the election, she insisted that...
For purposes of our conversation, you know this is the Ghanaian political scene we are talking about. And so when we mention Mahama, he's referencing Dr. Edward Mahama.
Yeah, Dr. Mahama.
Yes, so
not,
I want to clarify that. Yeah.
Yes, and that is what happened. She continued all this. No respect for leadership. She goes out, she makes comments about issues certain times, and it is embarrassing to the party. She says it's the party. The constitution is clear that it is the leader who is the chief spokesperson of the party. But she goes there and does it. When you say don't do that, she will not mind you.
Then it means that yourself and the chairman of the party were not in control of the party and have never been in control of the party.
Now, this is the thing. The constant frustration, struggling to dislodge you. In December 2020, before we went for elections, she went to Northern Region, called our party candidates and said they should denounce my leadership on air and say that they are not going to support my candidature. What had that done? That time, nothing. And the money she's talking about, you have if sum it up, that 1.7 million. Out of the 1.7 million we filed, 39 candidates, one presidential candidate. I paid 100,000. The 39, 10,000 each. That's 390 plus 100. That is how much? 490. Out of 1.7. That is just for filing. Out of 1.7. What is left? Is that 1.7 again? I decided that we must put the money in the party account. When I came, there was just 1,000 cedis in the party account.
1,000 cedis in the PNC's party account.
PNC party account. And there was no trace that in the past anybody put any money in that account. So are you telling me that the periods, the past elections before I came, they never raised money to campaign? Where was the money kept? And so if you look at it, just the filing would take 500,000. Then I made sure, I said give every candidate straight away 2,000 each, give them 2,000 posters, give them 200 t-shirts. And I didn't manage that. That was the work of my organizer. So my organizer did that.
Hold on one second. So let's say Janet controls half of the PNC membership. I mean, in terms of the executives. Let's say Janet and Dr. Mahama control that. What percentage do you control?
They don't control half.
They control how?
They control regional chairmen. The regional chairmen have been hanging there in years past. And the party has been downturned in its fortunes. So these are the people who have been there. Okay. And they are also hanging on top there. They are not on the ground.
Fair enough. So I'm saying that how much power or control in terms of your executives does Janet have following her?
Well,
I want in percentage terms. There is a reason why I'm asking this question. I want to understand something.
I don't know. Some of them have called some of our people and told them they were misled to come to the meeting, and they are not party to it. They quarrel there, and they are not what. You know, this kind of group of people, you can't tell. But let's say that maybe she has 8 regional chairmen to her side.
Out of?
Out of 16.
Okay. Now, it means that of the 16, you also have a sizable number who are on your side.
Yes. Certainly.
So I am trying to understand how. If she has 8, and you also have your 8, no, let me say maybe you also have 6, because Bernard Mona's camp is also there. Yeah. You mentioned Bernard Mona's camp is also there.
Yeah.
Do you have
Bernard Mona is no more in the leadership, so Bernard Mona's camp is
dissolved.
It's no longer there.
It's no longer there, because earlier when we started the conversation, you made the point
I
that
said that was but now at least Bernard Mona has allowed the party to function.
Okay.
And Bernard Mona has shown maturity. And I applaud him for that. He has shown maturity. He's taken a backstage. He wants the party to move forward. That is what I expected with Dr. Mahama. But he has taken a different stand. Janet continued with all this. We couldn't contain it. We had to take her to the disciplinary committee. The disciplinary committee we composed in 2021. We didn't know about any problems like this. And then we took her there. She didn't agree. The disciplinary committee recommended her suspension. And we called a next standing committee meeting, and it was unanimously endorsed for her to be suspended. When we suspended her, she went to Ashanti region and called that she was holding a NEC meeting. And all these chairmen that I'm talking about, Dr. Mahama called them, each one of them, on phone to come. And they confessed to me. That's why I'm saying that the problem is not like it is me, but this is the thing. So they went to Kumasi and said they had reversed her suspension and they had sacked me and my chairman from our position. And they appointed a regional chairman as a leader and acting chairman. You cannot, given that I am taken off and Moses is taken off, there is a first vice chairman that was elected at Congress. She takes over. You cannot appoint. And so when we looked at it, who is the chair of that? The constitution is very clear as to how you convene a NEC meeting. Who should chair? The national chairman or the deputies. Now you go there and they must be present. The constitution emphasizes. You go there and you hold a meeting and say that Henry Asante chaired the meeting from America via Zoom. That is not in the constitution, and that is not what our constitution stands for. So we said it's not neither here nor there. We were in our office. They went and brought police, and police seized our keys from us. That they were going to prevent us from, I don't know what type of, tentacles this lady has. To the extent that she will influence the police to be very unfair towards us. The police comes to take our keys, goes to lock our offices. After some time, the police release the keys to her. The keys you took from the leadership, you're giving it to a girl, somebody who is calling herself General Secretary, and we have suspended her. So even given that she is the General Secretary, should you take keys from the leader of the party, from the national chairman of the party, and give it to a lady? That is what the police did. Yesterday we were at the police station. These keys are still in her hands.
We have a new IGP, and
it's a sad story. Yesterday was the saddest day I ever had in my life. That I cannot believe that police will be so unfair in your face. In your face. So I told them that nothing can stop me from going to my office, and they can go and protect her with 1,000 men. I will go there, let what come may. That is the police for you. And so, you see, these are things.
You said it was a shocking and saddest day for you. What did the police do, actually? Tell me.
The police told me, you took the keys. I came and told you that. Give us the keys so that, because we had gone to court, And we were saying that what they did in Kumasi was not neither here nor there. So we wanted the court to make a pronouncement vis-a-vis the law in our constitution. And then they came to court and said we have to revert to the internal mechanism. So we said, okay, our lawyers also agreed. Then we went ahead, we called the disciplinary committee, and we petitioned them. They came to town. We were looking for the office for them to sit and work. The police told us that they can't give us the office. We should rent a place for them. So we went and rented a place. The following week, they gave the keys to Janet to go and sit in the office. She went and opened the office. So I went back there and I said, it's not acceptable. They said, okay. Then they took the keys back. The next moment...
The police took the key back from Janet?
From Janet.
Who was spearheading all this at the police, at the Ghana police?
It was the regional police commander. The next stage was that they had taken the keys back. The next moment is that Janet is in the office cleaning. And I went there. I said, how? They went and accosted her. She went to the police station. Whatever happened, I don't know. The next moment, when they came to their so-called NEC meeting, a gathering of regional chairmen, they call it NEC, which is not NEC. And they sat there and said they had sacked me and Moses, and they are the owners of the party. What do you describe? We were there in 1992. We fought and maintained this party, went to parliament to represent a party. And you are younger, you can't go to parliament, you can't even win assembly election. You have nothing to show in this party. You just gather regional chairman and say you have sacked. That's one. After that meeting, they went to the office again, open, they were there videoing themselves and WhatsApping it on our party platform. So I went to them. They tossed me up and down from Nima, go to Kotobabi, from Kotobabi, come back to Nima. Then finally, yesterday we met at the regional police command with the deputy regional police officer, commander. Then, where are the keys? Oh, Janet, when are you bringing the keys? You bring the keys. Finally, it was that Janet had to give them her own time and said she is going to consult her neck. So I told them, the fairness would have been, take the keys now. The office is under lock and key. We are already in court. We are going to enforce an order to prevent them from holding themselves out as executives of the party. We are following the constitution very well, and we'll see where it will end. Then you say, oh, you go. But when she's there, don't go there. Don't go there. And Janet says she will consult them, and then Monday, she may bring the keys. Monday, because she says she is going to talk to her neck. The neck will. And I tell you, that's where my sadness was. Because if you want to talk about people, one, I am a party leader. Two, I was a candidate. Three, I have been in parliament 8 good years. Four, I have represented the government, the country in ECOWAS parliament 5 years. There is nothing that I don't know. Moses was in parliament 8 good years and a deputy minister. And then we come and you treat us with carelessness, seize keys from us and give to somebody. How would you tolerate? How would you see that? So I said, if for instance, if you are just an ordinary man on the street, how can you ever think that you will have fairness in the eyes of the people?
Do you think the Ghana police is not a fair institution? I
don't think so. They proved it yesterday. My party, my executives are all one with me, and so many other guys got so incensed and came to the police station. They were sitting outside. The Janet's people were also there, who are going around with her, because she has sacked every one of the executives that were elected at Congress and appointed her own people. They were there. They were quarreling with my people. The good thing would have been that if they are quarreling and you think they are making noise, you drive all of them out. But they came and selected my people and drove them out.
That's what the Ghana police did?
Yes. So when I came out, I said, my friend, where are my people that they were making noise? Were they making noise amongst themselves? They were making noise with others. Why are you allowing them to sit here and you sack my people? So where is the fairness here? Well, that aside. Now, back to the question of money I spent. I called a press conference, I think 3 days ago, and I brought out the audited accounts. I read out the first Congress, the first NEC meeting, 27th of February 2021. I insisted that my treasurer should read out the minutes, the expenditure, financial statement. The treasurer read everything out. I read it out three days ago again. And the only thing that touched the raw nerve of Janet, and she sprang to attack us, was that the treasurer said, Dr. Mahama, after we had been sworn in, Dr. Mahama went to the party account and withdrew over 150,000. That was the filing fees of candidates. And he was not consulted. He doesn't know what the money was used for.
Who signs party checks?
Party checks, the leader, the chairman, the treasurer, and then the general secretary. 4 people.
So then how was money disbursed to Dr. Edward Mahama, 150,000, without your knowledge?
We had just come in, so we had not changed the party signatures.
Do you have any idea what that money was used for?
We have no idea.
Now, let's talk about, I remember this matter we are talking about, the money.
Yes.
That you were accused of embezzling.
Yes.
The matter landed with the CID.
Yes.
How far with that investigation?
No, they haven't called me.
The CID hasn't called you all this while?
No. And Master, I'm telling you that the first 500,000 was spent on filing. 2, we had to print T-shirts for everybody, print posters for everybody. The second tranche of the that we managed to raise, I made sure every candidate was given from 5,000 to 60,000. The first we gave from 2,000 to 50,000 because some of the areas we knew we could win, and we were putting our hopes there. So we spent money. And I can tell you for sure that I have been in campaign. I know what it means. And you can imagine that within that shortest time, my posters were all over the country. And we went from village to village in the north. We spent money. We rented cars. We rented V8s to add to my Land Cruiser. It's such that, I'm telling you. So we have an audited account. I also gave it out 3 days ago to the press. And I wish that they would publish it. An audited account. First in the history.
Who audited that account? Who did the auditing work?
We got a private auditor to do it for us.
By we, who do you mean we?
The executives. Myself, the national chairman, and all executives. We tell them what we are going to do. And so we have no problem with embezzlement, as you're saying. If I wanted to embezzle money, in the past they were raising money, and I tell you that there is no evidence in the bank account that any money was raised for any campaign. Why didn't I put it also under my bed? Because if I were putting it under my bed, it has no trace.
I am surprised that since that allegation was made about you embezzling that amount of money and a report being made to the CID, David Apasera has not been called by the CID. No. I'm surprised.
You see, there are certain things that people will see and say, this is useless story. They will tell you this is useless. You are lying to a public, deceiving public officers to waste their precious time on issues that is not. Look, you ask politicians who campaign, even people who won elections at polling to come to parliament. 1.7 million is nothing for even a constituency campaign. No? I'm telling you. And you know, I know what I'm talking about. That when you are in campaign, 1.7 today is not enough for a constituency, except that it's a small constituency. Because as you're campaigning, your pocket is loose. and people are meeting you, you have an unexpected expenditure, and you must be there to support it. And so you can imagine that you have 1.7, and that helps you to file. That helps you to take care of 39 parliamentary candidates and take care of a presidential candidate to campaign, and then to move from place to place with your executive, renting cars. And the areas that we had potential, we had to make sure that we could take care of the polling agents there. We couldn't fill polling agents. We could not. But we made sure the areas that we had potential, we had that. And so, where is the money that David embezzled?
Quick one. There are two outstanding issues I want us to deal with. One has to do with this 1.7 million Ghana cedis. Where did they come from?
We raised it from our friends.
Your friends?
Yes. And sympathizers.
And sympathizers of the party?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Now that you claim that you are still a member of the party,
yes,
I'm looking at the statement that was released to the general public. Communique at the end of the PNC National Executive Committee meeting held in Accra on May 12, 2022. Now, this is the part that I want you to help me understand. Having constituted a majority of a quorum and pursuant to Article 45 of the Constitution of the People's National Convention, the National Executive Committee held a meeting in Accra, among other things, deliberate and decide upon issues of concern to the party. Now, this is a communique that states that the constitutional requirements of the party in terms of having a majority of a quorum was met at arriving at a decision to get David Apasera, his membership, terminated. How then are you still a member of the party?
Yes. Now, let me tell you, what they did is not a neck. You see, when we reverted to the internal mechanisms, we petitioned the disciplinary committee. The disciplinary committee was in town. We had to rent a place for them, just as the police were not prepared to give us the keys to our office. They worked, they presented a report. The report recommended that some people who have instigated this unnecessary wrangling should be suspended. So Janet is on suspension. In fact, we called a standing committee meeting to ratify the disciplinary committee decision. That was on the 6th of May. So on the 6th of May, Janet is still on suspension. Bala Mekankan is on suspension. Sule Sedu is on suspension. Suale Karim is on suspension. Samuel Adiafio is on suspension. And so they are members of NEC by virtue of their positions they were holding. You have been suspended properly, in a due process. Really calls to our constitution. So where is your membership of NEC? And you go and sit there and say you are NEC members. And you decide my fate. That is not NEC. 2, calling regional chairmen together doesn't constitute NEC. NEC must be constituted by the sanctioning of it. The party national chairman must agree. His deputies must be there to chair the NEC. Who was there chairing the NEC? Who chaired that NEC? Who chaired that NEC? Which of the vice chairmen went and chaired that NEC? It's not NEC. It's not NEC. And we didn't even know where that NEC was holding. And NEC includes the whole of the national executives. No national executive was told to have been there. It includes all the regional executives. Already, she had, by a stroke of a pen, the general secretary, by so-called general secretary that was suspended, by a stroke of pen, suspended the Volta regional chairman, suspended the Bono East chairman. And then they say it's NEC. It's not NEC. So when you start something that is falsehood, when it is not legitimate, how does it have decisions that are effective? You get my point? The thing is not legitimate. The way it was composed is not how it should be composed per our constitution. Those who were sitting down there calling themselves NEC members, some of them were not NEC members. The people who were supposed to chair were not there to chair, and a regional chairman chairs. How can that be NEC? And that regional chairman had been suspended. So what they did there is to please themselves and to confuse the Ghanaian people, public, and to confuse our party following. And that's why I had to call that meeting and tell them that, look, let everybody know that what they did is a funny thing to appease themselves. Yes, but it doesn't hold water. So we are still members of PNC. I'm still the leader of PNC. Honorable Moses Daneba is still the national chairman of PNC. We have our first vice chairman, Ajia Ajara Ali, a former council of state member. We have our third vice, Alhaji Omar Bekure. He is still the third vice. And then we have our acting general secretary, Prince Ajimandua. We have our treasurer, Emmanuel Akazabri. We have our organizer, Abbas Nuhu. And we have our communication secretary, Awuru Ishak. We all have them, and I spelled that out. We have our women's organizer, Hidayah. We have the deputies all intact. We have our youth organizer, Mark Awusi. And when we were doing that, you know the funny thing, somebody who has been impersonating the youth organizer went to Cantonment's politician to report that the properly elected youth organizer at the National Delegates Congress was impersonating him. When we went there, that he was appointed by the General Secretary. So you think that the General Secretary supersedes the Delegate Congress? The Delegate Congress, somebody filed, paid filing fees, was processed, given polling notice, notice of poll. The Electoral Commission came, supervised the election. After that, declared these poll officers of the party. And a general secretary writes a letter to you. Go and be the youth organizer. And you decide to be a youth organizer. And then you rather go to police and report that the one who was properly elected at Congress is impersonating. These are the crises. But like I'm saying, I have told people, we are going by the Constitution. We are making sure we are within the confines of the law. And anybody who is interested in democracy, in the principles of rule of law, and in the survival of the Ghanaian democratic process that we have embarked on, should support us. They should support us. And I have been saying, I have no qualms. If you want to contest the bid, go in the proper manner. I didn't undermine anybody to become a party flag bearer and leader. I didn't undermine anybody. I didn't pass any bad comment about anybody. So you don't need to go hitting below the belt, telling lies, maligning me. I am a dictator. In all that I have demonstrated here, I have never sacked anybody. I have never queried anybody. I've never taken unilateral decisions. And you sack people. You sack national officers. You sack regional chairmen. You replace them the way you want. And you insist that even committees that we formed at the first NEC meeting, 2021 February, you don't recognize them. The Council of Elders we reconstituted, adding some people to it, even the founder of the party, Dr. Hilary Man, may his soul rest in peace. His wife's name is there. You say you don't recognize them? Who is a dictator now?
Quick one. Let's focus on the stranglehold of Dr. Edward Mahama on the party. Because you kept saying that the force behind Janet is that of Dr. Mahama. How does he wield so much power, being an ambassador at large and seeing how acrimonious the party was when Bernard Mona and co were there. How does he wield that power over the party to date?
I am saying their regional chairman, he put them there. He supported them. He has sent a number of them to Mecca and they are back. They have a personal allegiance to him. So when he calls them, come, they get up and come. And I am surprised that meeting, he was seated there.
Dr.
Mahama was there from the reporter who reported it. And it was captured and given. The reporter said, it is sad. Dr. Mahama, who ran this party, was there when this sad news was announced. The sad news was what? David Apasera and Honorable Moses Daniba have been sacked from the party.
Now you say that your experience, 8 years in Parliament and all of that. Prior to these regional chairmen being elected and you being an experienced politician, you would have known that these are individuals who have allegiances towards Dr. Edward Mahama. You knew that, right?
Well, I knew that, yeah, they had some alliances and I told you factions. But I was not in their minds to have still known that they had that kind of, a very personal, close relation with him.
You became the flag bearer
yes.
of the party. An election was held, right?
Yes.
Now, in winning that election, it meant that you had the support of the people to lead them into the elections, right?
Yes.
So how were you not able to carry that support, that goodwill of the people, and then now this functionalism is still back?
No, when I was campaigning, I had two other people contesting me. Janet was with one of them and then going around campaigning together with them. So certainly, some of these regional chairmen were not throwing their weight behind me. Some of them didn't vote for me. You understand?
How do you know that? You were not in the booth.
Well, I was not within the booth. But I am saying that we had three people. The fact that I won massively, because the other two, even if they combined their votes, they didn't come near me. Doesn't mean that all of them, all the party members supported me. You get it? Now, I tried to work well. And I know the regional chairman had a problem with me. They said I should pass the money that I was sending to the party parliamentary candidates through them. And I have been in the politics from 1992. I have been a candidate, a parliamentary candidate in 1992 in Bolga constituency. I know what it means. That politically, if you want to get your people working, you pass money through people.
It means that you are not respecting the structures.
Not that I'm not respecting
because you see, the structures demand that if you want to disburse money, the party structure demands that if you're going to, let's say, the Northern region, there is a regional chair there. There's a regional secretary there. How do you call them? Treasurer there. The money must go to them. And then they, in turn, disburse to the people.
No.
But you bypass that.
Please. It is not so. There are monies meant for party structures in elections. That money goes through the lineup structures where they run also to support the candidate. There's money that you have to give direct to the candidates for them to work. And I'm telling you that I'm not new to this. If you have a huge chunk of money, you may not bother, because once somebody takes the money, he has to also take something and put here.
No, I don't get it.
Yes, when you give money to a region, they won't just take the money like that and say, go and give to this thing. They also have their own needs.
So they'll pocket some.
So some of it must go to solve their needs. So you may be given, like we had very meager money. And so we said 2,000 to a parliamentary candidate first. Then they would say, okay, let's take 1,000 and solve this problem and give them 1,000. You haven't achieved anything. Then you come, you say the second tranche, give everybody at least 5,000 each. you take it to the region, then they decide what to give them. Are you going to go there and supervise anything? You can't. And so we thought that we didn't have the resources available. We didn't have money. If we had money, we wouldn't bother. But you have bigger money. You must make sure that it gets to the right person. The right person also has his image to carry. Mm-hmm. So nobody would like to take money pocket, and then finally at the last day, he is useless.
So how were these monies transferred to these candidates?
By their mobile numbers.
Then what happens to accountability, accounting for that money, all these monies that we are talking about? Because it's not going through the party's books.
No, but you see, the thing is, the campaign is like that. How is it coming to account for you? I tell you that campaign is difficult to account because as he's moving from his house, a child is meeting him and saying, hey, you are removing money. How do you write those things down?
I am not a politician, yes, but I am thinking that a party that seeks to lead a country, yes, accountability must be one of the foremost issues. Yes. If I may, I'm not a politician. Yes. I don't understand the workings of politics. Yes. But I'm thinking this, that you have a tour. Yes. You're going to the Greater Accra region. Yes. You're going to meet executives of the region. Yes. Per the party's decision, yes, you are spending 2 million Ghana cedis on the Greater Accra regional tour. Yes. Do you understand? That's it. And so when you are waking up in the morning and you say, okay, we are going to meet the Kanda Kaukudi executives. Yes. Of that 200 million, yes, which has been allocated, or 2 million which has been allocated, yes, you decided, okay, of this 2 million, yes, we are going with, let's say, 50,000 to Kanda Kaukudi. Yes. This is process that makes accountability easy. If you go and you spend all of that money, yes, it really doesn't matter because in your books, yes, 50,000 went out and it didn't come back.
Exactly. That's what we do.
But that's not what you're telling me.
Why?
You are telling me that, you take the money and then that's it, you spend the money and there's no trace.
You send it to the candidate. The candidate decides how he's apportioning the money to his various areas in his constituency. Mm. So he goes about his campaign. You know that he's on the ground, he's doing it. How are you going to go down there and see whether the candidate took the money and really spent in village A or village B?
So that question comes back to you,
yes,
because you see,
so
when it comes to the
problem.
When it comes to the regional executives, yes, you are not willing to trust them with the money, but you are willing to trust the candidate himself. How do you know that the candidate indeed is spending the money on ABC as you claim? Because, like you said, pocket day.
The candidate has a responsibility to uphold his image. Mm. The candidate may know that I'm not going to win. Mm. But the candidate has a passion to make sure he is not the least in the constituency. Mm. Because when you are the least, it's a laughable thing. Mm. You understand? The candidate is being pressured by party, foot soldiers, and so on, for them to work. So it becomes difficult for the candidate to take the money and pack it and sit down, and the people come around and say, we must go and visit here, we must go and greet the chief there, we must go and give the opinion leader there, and he will be sitting down with the money. He must work. That is why when you have enough money, you can give through the riches. You can give through your structures. Because if they are deciding to deduct parts of it for whatever purposes, it still will get to the right source. But if you don't have much, you don't go there and you give it, and then it stays at that level, and you finally come out, you have nothing.
So this audited account you speak of, yes, this audited account captures all these mobile money transactions you made?
Yes, it captures all transactions that we made, all disbursements we sent to people, captures that.
Which company did the auditing for you?
I don't actually know the company, but it is the treasurer who did it, who got the company and they did it. Your tone in mentioning the certain executives gave me an impression you had these executives on your side. No, I have all the executives except Janet and her people. All the executives signed a petition with me against Janet. And she has sacked all the executives, leaving only she alone and appointing new people. Mm. So all the executives are solid with me, But she is the only one.
Fair enough. Let's be rounding up. Is it not the PNC that yourself, Janet, and co are drowning as we speak? This is a PNC which has held the reins of power before in this country. Is it not that party that by your actions you're drowning?
What can I do? As I'm saying, I haven't acted in any wrong manner, in any wrongful manner. I haven't acted in any wrongful manner. I haven't acted contrary to the laid down procedure in the Constitution. I have not gone against rules of the game. I have not insulted any national officer. I have not despised any national officer. So where is my blame? And as I'm telling you, somebody day one begins to fight you and finally comes out to fight you openly. What do I do? We have to continue to go through the processes. And that's why now we have gone to court to file another writ. Because people must be restrained. People must be told that you are working with a party, you are within a party, you must respect the party constitution. And if you fail to respect, the law courts will have to make a decision on that. That's the only way we can do. I can't go and force them to sit down with me. They go around and they are insulting me. She insults me all over. In fact, Ghanaians think that I am a very bad person, unless those who know me. And if you go to my constituency in Bolga constituency, where I had a whole constituency, now it's a divided constituency, Bolga East and Bolga Central. It was one. If you go there and mention my name, everybody gives me the due respect. Because I made sure I was very careful in handling my common fund. And I can tell you, my common fund, not a farthing was ever spent on my own blood relation. It was a target for the underprivileged. I was the MP, and I was privileged. So my salary should pay for my children and my sister's children and so on.
Yeah.
And that is how I am. Until you are close. When you are listening, people out there see me as a very bad person.
Because of Janet?
Because of Janet.
Ending. Final. If you spoke to you, I'd have said kwata. So, this Edward Mahama, for want of a better word, issue, how do you intend dealing with it going forward?
We talked to the man.
You spoke to him?
We talked to him. My chairman and the chairman of the Council of Elders went to his house, his clinic, and met him. He says he has washed his hands off the party. And the Council of Elders chairman said, look, that is not what Dr. Liman did. When Dr. Liman handed over the party to you, he made sure he went with you around, introduced you around, tried to help you. So
did he help you in your campaign? Did Mahama help you in your campaign?
He didn't help me in my campaign.
Did you solicit his help?
Oh, how would I solicit your help? You know that you are supposed to support. You haven't made yourself available. He was angry that I should always get up. Within 1 minute, I tell you, running to television stations, to radio stations, and to communities to campaign, I still always had to. He said I should always have to have time to drive to his clinic at Dome, to talk with him. Where's the time? Look at the time I got here. I stay up Spinters Road, and I have to cover a program within 2 months before a national elections. Where is the time that you can get up and drive all the way there?
Did he support your candidature?
Well, according to source, he told people to vote for me.
He told people to vote for you?
That's what I understood.
Okay. All right.
But I don't know whether it was from within his heart, because Janet, as I told you, was going around with somebody campaigning for the person, and the person, and Janet was being supported strongly by Mahama. So whatever it is, some of these things you can never tell.
I'm grateful, Mr. David Apasera, that you made time to join me this morning on the Happy Morning Show. So grateful. I'm hoping that the PNC resolves its internal issues as speedily as possible so that 2024 will see PNC feature. But I'm grateful once again, sir.
I'm most grateful. Thank you.
And that's been Mr. David Apasera. He says he's still a member of the PNC and that the decision taken by the NEC, there was no NEC, just a few regional executives who came and then took that decision. Well, you've listened. Whether you are convinced or not is up to you.